Hello, everyone, and welcome to Investing You. And the topic for tonight would actually be going through the process to picking up the right stock for you, especially in 2018. So the way this is going to be done, I'm going to divide the video into different chunks so that way it's not too lengthy. I'm going to do my best to try to keep everything under 10 minutes. And without further ado, let's get started. So part one will be how exactly do you get started, right? So the first thing you really want to do here with stock investing is basically research. Research is the key. And there's two ways to go about it. The first one is by fundamental analysis, and the second one is by doing technical analysis. Now, don't get fooled with the terminology. I know it sounds fancy and everything, but they're no more than just simple research. So with fundamental analysis, you basically learn everything there is to learn about the company. You go from the news to what is it that they create, what services they provide, and what countries they operate and stuff like that. So think of it as an example. Let's say you plan to buy a cell phone, or you want to go out there and you want to make a purchase for a new pair of shoes, or maybe even a new car, right? So the way you will typically go about it is you want to find out as much as you can about each of the products. So for example, with the phone, you're going to try to figure out whether you want to go with an Android or with an Apple phone, and then how much of in terms of memory do you want to invest in, and then how long do you expect the phone to last and stuff like that. Same thing with a pair of shoes, whether you want leather, plastic, canvas. Same thing with a car in terms of branding and stuff like that. So that's the first thing you need to decide on what to do in terms of stock picking. And then the second one, it's what it's called technical analysis. It sounds a little tricky, but it's no more than using current data to forecast future prices on the stock, whether you think it's going to go up in terms of selling, and whether you think it's going to go down, so you want to find out if it's a good price for you to actually go in and buy. Right now, you're probably wondering, okay, so now that I know that, how do I know exactly which stock to buy, right? So you can feel free to search what's out there, right? There are multiple platforms, like I mentioned in my prior videos. One of them is the S&P 500. The other one is the Dow Jones and NASDAQ. And like I mentioned before in my prior videos, don't be fooled by the different names and the terminologies. They're just simply different exchanges. Companies go by sizes, they go by how they want to file for to be publicly traded. So this is just a different ways and different means for you to find exactly what's out there. So each company has their listing. Feel free to go into the website, listen to the links down below, and you can feel free to go ahead and just click on each one of them and learn a little bit now about the company. Now, if you don't have the time, let's say you are short on time, you want to do something quicker, and you just simply don't have the patience, there are publications out there that you can actually access. One of my favorites is actually the Fortune company, the Fortune magazine. At the end of the year, I believe it's December 31st, or I'm not sure, it's somewhat around the last 2 weeks, they actually come out with an investor guide, and where they list, I believe, up to like 50 stocks that you can actually choose to invest in the following year. And they give you everything from the rationale as to why they think it's the right one. They have a team of analysts who have actually done the research for them, whether it's the right price or not, and so on. And if you don't feel like subscribing to a magazine or getting a hard copy, you can actually do a quick Google search and type in stock picks for 2018 in this case, and you're going to find a listing that is going to appear on the website. And the most prominent ones are actually Forbes, Barron's, and Time Magazine. And so I actually did a quick skim through them, and I noticed that some of the stocks that are listed in Fortune actually appear in the list that appear in Forbes and so on. So that should give you more or less some sort of a hint to decide whether, oh, maybe this is really a good pick for you to go after, and decide whether that's something you want to invest or not. Now that you have that, that's just the first step for you to try to figure out, okay, what are my wish lists, what are my favorite stocks, so now what do I want to do next, what do I go to find more about them. So that's when you go ahead and try to learn as much as about the company in terms of the news. Why do you want to learn about the news? You want to know what the company is investing in. You want to learn whether they have something coming up in the pipeline. Maybe they come out with their quarter earnings and you realize that they're negative, but is there a reason why they're doing, in the negative, they're operating in the negative range. Maybe they invested a big sum of money ahead of time and that's why they're in the negative side. What is their competitor coming up with? How is that going to impact the sales of the company or the performance of the company in general? So one of my favorite tools that I like to access is just this stock icon that it's in your iPhone if you have an iPhone. If you don't have one, don't worry. There are other applications out there that you can download and actually monitor the stocks that you have picked or that it's in your radar, so you can buy them sometime in the near future. Another platform that you can actually leverage is Yahoo Finance and Google Finance. Personally, I like more Yahoo Finance because it's more interactive. You can actually play around with the charts and stuff like that. Right after I go through all of these tools, I'm actually going to do a demo on how I will actually go through the entire process. I'm actually going to do a quick case study on one stock. I believe it's going to be Tesla, and I can certainly walk you through everything. But in the meantime, I want to show what tools are available for you to start leveraging them. So the next one is going to be Seeking Alpha. And what I like about Seeking Alpha is that it is a tool that you can actually download as part of an application, or you can even access their website, seekingalpha.com, and the link is listed down below. And what makes Seeking Alpha a little bit different than the other platforms is that you have all kinds of resources, right? So you have reports that are written by professional analysts, people that are fully dedicated to monitoring and studying these stocks, and you also find articles and blogs listed by individual investors on a regular basis. So you actually get the best of both worlds. You get information from people who actually do this professionally, and you also have people who give their opinion who don't do that professionally, who do that for their own personal love, or maybe even as an interest that they just want to do. So that way you learn as much as you can and you get different points of view, just to make sure that whatever decision you're making is actually not a biased one, because you definitely do not want the emotions to get in the way of your decisions. Then the next two tools are going to be a little bit on the fancy side. That's Vanguard and Charles Schwab. Remember, for Vanguard and Charles Schwab, there's a minimum that you have to have in their account. For Vanguard, I believe it's $1,000. I'm not sure what the minimum is for Charles Schwab. For Charles Schwab, pretty much provide you all the reports that are available out there. They also give you the links to different news and different databases that you can access. It is a nice to have if you have a larger portfolio and you're more on the investing or tech savvy side, so that way you can actually leverage all of their tools. And that's basically what I have to share as of now. I'm going to pause the video right here, and I'm going to resume back in a little bit with the actual demo, and we're going to go through a full study of Tesla as a stock to invest in. Until then, ciao!